Ready or not, here I come. Where you at? The night is young.
Classic. Just like this rewind.
That is the unofficial theme song.
That's the official theme song.
No, the official theme song is Run, Run, Run. It's time to run and hide.
Very true. Very true. What did we see some time ago, Maddie?
We saw Ready or Not.
Whoa. But only the first one.
But only the first one.
Not the second one.
Second one we see tomorrow.
Yeah, surprise double episode this week.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. In honor of Ready or Not. Cult
That's right.
classic.
Yeah,
It's not quite there, but I
Yeah.
think it will be.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that they got a sequel is remarkable because
I never thought we'd see a sequel to this movie, honestly.
I never thought we did either. Critically, when it came out, it was panned.
But it has like a 98%. It has an 89% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I know I think it took a while to get there. I loved this movie from the beginning, but it did really poorly critically, and back when I was writing about this movie, people were just dogging on it.
Yeah.
However, and I think we'll get into this, the cultural moment has changed. And
Yeah,
I
it has.
think that where people found this to be really like outlandish and like poorly conceived, it now seems like it was kind of at the start of this genre of like rich people hunting films. And I think we'll go into even like that genre isn't just hunting, because I think there's some other movies that are similar that don't have hunting in it, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk about it.
Well, and for us, this was like like the second or third movie that we saw together when we were dating.
No. This came out after I had graduated.
It did?
Yeah, because that's when I wrote that piece about it. I was working at MBS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
we saw like Lady Bird.
We were so
saw
young.
The Disaster Artist.
No, we did not see Disaster Artist together.
Oh, I always insert you in that memory.
Well, that's weird because I wasn't there. So
in my mind, you were.
No, the first we saw Lady Bird together.
Yeah. We must have seen others because there's probably like maybe a 9-month period between Lady Bird when we saw Lady Bird and Ready or Not.
I just don't think we saw many movies together.
That's fair.
That time.
We were busy and poor.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, we were in school.
AMC didn't have the same presence as it does now in our lives. This is back when like Movie Pass was a thing.
Yeah, guys, like you gotta understand, this is a blast from the past.
It's crazy because it feels so far away, and yet I can't believe it's been.
Did we see this at that Regal next to the Paul?
Yeah, we did. And I went several times on my own to take notes because I wrote this whole piece about it.
Yeah. Talk about that.
Well, why don't we get into a summary?
Oh, yeah. Fine. Let's keep it. Hold on. Who are you? I know this is like we're way too deep in now. But
Maddie.
And I'm Matthew, just in case no one's listened before. And if you haven't listened, why aren't you subscribed right now? What are you doing? Subscribe. I know you haven't listened to the podcast, but like, trust me, it's worth your time and money. So.
And money. It's free.
Yep. That's how you know it's worth it. Most powerful word in the English language. So there you go.
Okay, so Ready or Not opens and it's the 80s. Scary right off the bat.
My God. Okay.
What?
I don't know if the 80s... Whatever. You're good.
It's called a joke, Matthew. I make them now and again.
No, you don't.
Okay, so there's two little boys running, and they're in this giant house, and the bigger of the little boys pushes the littler of the little boys into a closet and is like, stay here, you'll be safe. And then a man grabs the bigger boy and is like, help me, and he's bleeding, there's arrows, and the little boy yells, he's in here! And then all these cloaked people with masks, like grotesque Phantom of the Opera masks, but not the mask that he wears when he's covering his face. I mean the like prosthetic mask that all phantoms have to wear to make their skin look bubbly.
Yeah.
They're all wearing that kind of thing, and they drag this poor boy, or he's a man. They drag this poor man into poor boy. They drag him into a room, and a woman in a wedding dress is screaming, and then she like I don't know, steals herself and walks into the room. And then it cuts to the present day, and you see Grace, who in her wedding dress, and she's kind of like pre-wedding, talking to herself about how she's about to get married into this big family with all this money. Then you see the wedding happen. Her husband kind of is been estranged from his family, you find out, and he keeps asking her if she really wants to do this. They have a reception. You just see this montage of a wedding. It looks fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then they're in their room later in the evening, and he's like, oh, at midnight we have to meet with my family to play a game because they are wealthy, having built their fortune in a board game empire.
Yeah, they're kind of like the American Nintendo in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they haven't crossed into digital.
No, but that is the vibe.
Yeah.
Like, they've been around for hundreds of years. They
They maybe started with like a deck of cards.
Right.
That's
like Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's like, are you kidding? He says, no, we do this every time someone joins the family. You just have to pick a card. It'll say a game you have to play. We'll play the game and then it's over. And so she's like, okay, do I have to win? He says, no, we just have to play. So she shows up. And by the way, she has no family, which we'll get into why I think that's an interesting choice given the sequel. But she has no family.
Oh, yeah, that does, yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
She has no family. And so she's very gung-ho to integrate. She wants to be integrated in this family. And so they sit in this room that's like family only. It looks like a safari room. There's like all these ancient guns and harpoons and whatnot. And they give her kind of a rundown of the family history. They hand her a box. She pulls a card out and she says, oh, we're playing hide and seek. So the mood turns and everyone starts to get ready. So they tell her, you have to go hide. We'll turn the cameras off. We'll count to 100 and then we'll come and find you. And she goes, oh, there's no real way for me to win, is there? And the dad is like, well, you could stay hidden until dawn. And she looks at him and laughs and is like, I don't want to do that. Makes sense. So she goes and hides in the dumbwaiter. And meanwhile, all of the family like starts strapping up with these weapons. Clearly, they're about to hunt her. And she gets bored and is like, that's enough of that. Starts walking around. And while she's walking around, she gets pulled because her husband escapes from the room. They like won't let him out because they don't want him to help her. They're convinced that if they don't kill her, they will all die.
Yeah.
Because they've made a deal with Mr. LaBelle, who is the devil. So he escapes. He's trying to find her. He grabs her, pulls her into their room, and is like trying to get her to like pack up. And at that moment, they accidentally kill a maid. And Grace sees this. And Grace starts freaking out. What's the husband's name?
Alex, yeah.
Alex has her like put on her shoes, all this stuff, and is like, you need to go through the servants' quarters. I'm going to go turn off the cameras and unlock the doors. So as she's walking, she's in the walls essentially, but has to make a turn, makes the wrong choice, and ends up directly in front of all of the family. And so just like chaos and hijinks ensue.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of like, oh, she's running. Oh, they've caught her, but she gets away. Or like, oh, she's hiding.
She falls into a pit with all the other dead bodies.
Hold on. She starts having a like mano a mano with the butler. The butler is like making tea and she's in the kitchen trying to get out. And there's a big fight. And what's interesting is that the butler, for a good portion of the movie, is the main antagonist, really inflicting harm on her.
Yeah.
Which is interesting when you think about this movie as like a class-based structure and commentary.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, she gets outside. She is, in this car and it shuts down because they're like, oh, it's been reported as stolen. I can't help you. All of this stuff happens. She chokes out the butler. She gets a needle in her neck. But also, one of the nephews of her husband leaves his bedroom.
Yeah.
very similar to his father, who was the boy who ratted out the guy at the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And that little boy shoots a hole through her hand.
Well, no, that's not his. That's not his dad. That's his.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It's not his kid. I'm
yeah,
sorry. It's his
his
uncle.
sister. Yeah.
It's the sister, the coked up sister.
Yeah, she's crazy.
So he shoots a hole through Grace's hand, and Grace falls into this pit where she finds skeletons of goats and humans, including Michael, who was the groom from the flashback.
Mm-hmm.
And then on her way up, like, that's really the worst bit of, like, gore and, you know,
it's pretty rough.
Horror is she has to hoist herself up by putting her hand, like, with a hole in it over a nail, so her hand has a nail through it in this giant hole left by the bullet. It's that I always watch through my fingers. That part's kind of icky for me personally. So that's the worst of it, and everything else is pretty okay. Like there's 3 maids, and throughout the night, all 3 of them are killed. One's shot, one's harpooned through the neck, and one's crushed by the dumbwaiter.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I mean, well, and then so she ends up captured by the family, and they're gonna do a ritual, and Alex like turns on her and accepts his place as the de facto leader. Meanwhile, his brother...
Well, that's only...
Oh, go ahead.
That's only because Grace escapes and then kills his mom, and then he sees that.
Well, but they're talking earlier about how he has been chosen and singled out by Mr. LaBelle since he was a kid.
Right, I understand that.
Yeah, so that's what I was getting at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the juxtaposition there is his older brother who ratted out Michael in the flashback. He is guilt-ridden this entire time.
Yeah.
And he actually helps Grace several times, even though he does think that he'll die. And ultimately, he's killed by his wife on accident.
Mm-hmm.
And then when all of that is going down, Grace is like seeing everything, and she does get a hold of Alex's mom, who's choking her out, and she gets this giant box that she pulled the card from and beats his mom to death with the box. And what is crazy is they lift the box at one point, and there's like a clump of hair stuck to it.
Yeah.
And that is when Alex does like start to participate more actively, but there's been hints all along that like he isn't doing as much as he could to get free or to help her, and that his destiny is to be one of the family.
Yeah. And I have like rewatching it. Sorry, I know we're not completely done,
ahead.
but like rewatching it, I am like, oh, Alex is like worse than I remember.
Yeah, I would agree, because the whole point of the game is that other family members, like her in-laws, they had to play like chess and Old Maid. So it's really, this is a test for if you are a part of the family, because it's said over and over again, oh, you're not one of us, you're not one of us. Yeah. If Mr. LaBelle thinks that you are not one of the, like, if you are not able to be turned and able to like follow the cult essentially that he's created, then he will have them hunt you. Yeah. And so she isn't one of them, but Alex is, and that's solidified where he ultimately is going to be the one to sacrifice her. She turns last minute and gets a knife to her shoulder, crawls off the table, and makes the most animalistic like scream I've ever heard. Every time I see it, I'm like, that is an insane like Xena warrior princess scream. And she outlasts them. Dawn happens and they all explode. Literally.
Yeah, well, and it's really funny because at first they're like, "Oh, we're good,"
and then one by one they just implode.
Yeah.
Like, think of the Titanic Titan sub.
Dude. Yeah, boom. Literally. Yeah.
And then the house catches fire. Mr. LaBelle has turned on them the record that they play when she starts to hide, which is the creepy "Run, run, run! It's time to run and hide."
Mm-hmm.
That plays for them as they all try to run and escape being imploded. The house burns. Grace takes the mom's cigarette case, goes and sits on the stairs and smokes a cigarette as paramedics and firefighters come to save the house.
Yep.
She is still in her wedding dress, which is now no longer white, but very red and ripped, and she is just covered in blood. She looks really gross and grimy.
Yep.
And that's the movie, and it's a great time.
It is a good time.
It's a fun movie.
It is. It's a really good movie. Well, do you want to talk about your what you wrote?
Yeah. So I wrote a piece, and honestly, I haven't read it in a long time. I think it's still up. It was published by this site called Ragazine. I think it's still up, but it was like the last issue. So maybe you can find it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They stopped publishing it, which meant that mine was on like the front page for a very long time.
Heck yeah.
But I wrote this thing called Ready or Not, Here Come the Feminists, because at the time, everyone was panning this movie because they were like, oh, it's a bad discussion of class, like a bad representation of a class struggle. And I can kind of see what they mean looking at it now.
Yeah, you're still on there.
I'm still number one. Or
I don't know if you're still number one. You are not still. You're not on the front page, but it's in there. You can find it.
Yeah. Okay. Ragazine, spelled exactly.
Oh no,
as
you are
think.
on the front page. You're like number 10.
Oh, nice.
Which is hilarious.
Nice. Yeah. And so I wrote a piece called "Ready or Not, Here Come the Feminists," and it was really looking at how this movie, if you looked at it through a feminist lens, I forget what I was really saying, but I talked about the cult of domesticity and just like the symbolism of grace and all of these different things.
Yeah.
I'd have to read it again to remember what exactly I said. Maybe I skim it real quick. I have refreshed myself on what I wrote, and according to my opening paragraph, it wasn't that it was panned, but it was that there was a common criticism that this movie, like, in trying to show this class-based warfare and, like, privilege-based warfare, they cast a white blonde woman as the victim, which everyone was like, that's really stupid. Like, she's exactly the ideal. Like, this is upholding white victimhood, which is true. Let's just put that out there. Sure, that's true. But what I was saying is that the film is actually more interesting when you think about, I wouldn't say more interesting, but this was this was produced right around the time that like Meghan Markle joined the British royal family.
Yeah.
And I make a note here that like if they were to cast a young woman of color and then have this white family, that would have a very different conversation and a really pointed conversation at this moment in time, as opposed to like they weren't really trying to have a racial conversation. They were just trying to focus on class. That's their intent. I'm sure that there's other parts of it too of like it's Hollywood, so white people have an easier time getting cast. That's just like another, I don't know, social sickness that we have. But because it's all the same race isn't really a part of the conversation in the film, like what the film's intent is, which is just like kind of a leveling the field in that regard.
Sure.
You know, or like not leveling it, but flattening it. You're not looking intersectionally. They're really focused on wealth and disparity. And then I guess another part of that criticism was that like there's not any indication that Grace actually doesn't belong there besides them just saying it over and over again. But in this piece, what I talk about is that she's the bride. And so really it's looking at womanhood versus the patriarchy. And it's not an intersectional looking at it, right? Because of the reasons I've already said. But it's really, the movie is really stylized in this Victorian aesthetic. And Grace kind of in her wedding dress, she looks, like that wedding dress looks a little old-timey compared to what we would wear now and what we were wearing then. And so I just make a lot of arguments and kind of, I talk about how it relates to the cult of domesticity and it being the home. And so the uncanny valley and like the creepy part of this movie is that as opposed to, the home being a place where women are cherished as the like moral compass. Instead, this woman is hunted within the home. And so it's talking, whether it means to, it's talking about how the patriarchy and this idealized home is actually a hunting ground for young women. And now I think that in light of the Epstein files, this is an incredibly compelling movie. Absolutely stunning movie.
Yeah, I think that if this movie were made today, you would not see those criticisms.
No, and that's I think the same thing. I mean, I think that you'd probably still see some criticisms because it's, there isn't much diversity in the cast.
Sure.
But
I just think that that's...
I also think that there's something to be said. Sorry, I'm kind of interrupting you. But I think that there's something to be said too of like colorblind casting when you're looking at these like evil characters can't really exist because we live in a society that has villainized people of color.
Yeah.
So, and this actually was an interesting thing going back to Heathcliff, where it's like, do you really want a man of color to be cast as this like despicable character?
Right.
And I would say no, but I don't think that Heathcliff in that movie, like the Emerald Fennell movie, was a despicable character. Like, they didn't show any of the truly despicable things that he did after Kathy dies. Yeah. So anyway, that's like a side note.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, I agree. And also, I feel like people make... Hear me out. This is my cynical take sometimes, where it's like people make those arguments, and instead of being like, yes, but the movie's saying this, they're just like, well, I'm going to dismiss every point. And that bothers me.
There are certainly people online who make bad faith arguments.
Right. Where it's like, well, because they didn't do this, I'm going to dismiss everything it has to say.
And I think there are people who use it in both ways, like woke and anti-woke.
Oh, of course.
They're all like, in any one direction, if you go far enough, you're getting people who are making bad faith arguments.
Right.
In my opinion.
Right. Yeah, it is truly like a bad faith argument.
And I don't think it's everyone is making bad faith arguments, but I will agree. I think there are definitely some people who are like very one note. And we've seen this in other way. Like, you and I on our own have talked about like the rise of like puritanical thinking in people our age and younger.
Yeah, and I also just like don't think that the internet is the place to be having these conversations. I think it's fine to watch content about these conversations, like what we're doing now, but like trying to engage in quote unquote debate in a comment section.
I was going to say
pointless.
That's really where I think you get kind of like lost.
Yeah.
Because I do think, like, actually reading that piece that I wrote, like, I was like, wow, I can't believe I wrote this, because it's been a long time. I also don't write like that anymore, really. Like, that was much more of a pseudo-academic endeavor. And just, like, I think that those are places where you can interact like that and really lay out an argument and be like, this is where I see these things interacting.
Well, it's also, like, academic consensus is not made through the comment section of like a paper. You know, it's not like you got like it's on JSTOR and like one professor's like, actually, this is a piece of crap. And then everyone's like, yeah, actually, it is a piece of crap. And then that's
instead
how
it's like journal article referencing it. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. Like that's how academic consensuses are made, not by some silly online comment section that, you know, some idiot down the road made.
Yeah.
Like, that's all. But yeah, I think that this movie touches on, I'm amazed at how well it's aged.
Yes.
You know, like
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. I haven't watched it since, oh my God. I mean, since it came out. When did it come out? Did it come out in...
It was 2019, I believe.
Yeah.
I haven't watched, because once my article was published, I had a couple of people who wanted to watch it and like wanted to watch it with me.
Mm-hmm.
So I've watched it a little bit, but I really haven't seen it much.
I think this is only like my third time seeing it.
I've seen it several times. But again, in writing this piece, I went to the movies quite a bit and took a lot of notes. And in some ways, this was the start of like Maddie at the movies.
Yeah, no, this was kind of like the first thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But I think that the commentary, like the class commentary, is really interesting.
Yeah, well, and I just want to say, like, Maddie at the movies is the predecessor to this. So in some ways, we can trace our roots back to this movie specifically.
Crazy. Wild stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
Yeah, the class commentary. Go off.
yeah, I find, especially with Alex, like, I think the thing is Grace is never really super conflicted in this movie in terms of like what she wants to have happen. You know, like she's never like she's like, yeah, I'll be part of this family. But like she even says she's like, I think Alex would be happy being a bachelor. Like I think she's happy to take the money, but as soon as it's like, oh, this is what it is, she's like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm good. You know, like she's pretty straight and narrow. Alex is interesting because he presents as if he doesn't care, but then he really does care a lot, which is interesting. I find it really interesting when it comes down to like the mother commentary and like the kind of how women are pulled into the patriarchy when
Yes.
when his mom's like, you seriously telling me that this girl knows you better than me? I've known you my whole life. And he's I think that really gets to him, especially when he sees his mother dead.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, my mom is actually way more important to me than this girl, you know?
Well, I mean, I think you're making a really good point that I do try to touch on in that article about
Yeah.
how this movie illustrates women being complicit in patriarchy, and how
Yeah.
it illustrates members of society that aren't upper class
Mm-hmm.
are also pulled into patriarchy, and made complicit because it's to their benefit. In the same way of like
Yeah.
whiteness, how being closer to, and I guess you can just kind of boil it down to privilege, just being closer to privilege, even if you yourself aren't privileged, you will inflict harm because that's
Yeah.
what privilege requires, and the misconception is that you gain power by being in proximity to it, even when you
Yeah.
yourself don't have it.
Well, like I
And
think
so
that,
the butler.
yeah, I think that, well, the butler, I think another good example is Daniel's wife.
Yes. Yeah.
Where she kills her husband and she's like after like, see where I came from, I'm never giving this up.
Well, and she's a
like-
good foil to Grace because they both seem to have, poor backgrounds.
Yeah. And I also find I can't remember the sister's name. Can't remember her name. But like Daniel and Alex's sister, where she's like, my children don't deserve this. And then when her child's like, I was just doing what everyone else was doing, she's like, oh, you're so amazing, you know? And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is feeding into the next generation already.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
you can see it.
I actually think it's a really good exploration of the concept of privilege as a whole, but I think
Mm-hmm.
you can break it down into classism and patriarchy. It doesn't really get into racism, which
No.
but again, I think at that moment in time, if you were to cast it differently, it would really be like super heavy-handed Meghan Markle, which
Yeah.
I don't think was the conversation they wanted to have. I don't think they wanted it to be pinned onto like a single actual person.
No, and I don't think that would have helped the movie. A movie can't be about everything, you know? Sorry. Like, not, like, you can't have everything in a single piece of media. It's just impossible. So I agree with you. I don't think that's what they're going for, you know? You're acting like I'm crazy.
Oh, no, sorry.
Oh.
I'm just thinking.
Oh, okay.
I'm just thinking, I was thinking about whether I agreed with your statement or not. I mean, I
Which statement?
that a movie can't have everything. I think movies sometimes do have everything, but it's hard to execute that. And so sometimes I think maybe movies that do kind of seem to have everything, that's one of those like the stars aligned sort of things.
You know, a movie I think tried to have everything and did poor? How to Make a Killing.
Oh yeah.
Same, literally the same. They're trying to say the same thing about poor people and stuff like that, but it tries to throw too much at the wall and it lacks focus.
Well, I think that How to Make a Killing is I know that it's based on a different movie much earlier, but you can't tell me that it's not been informed, because kind of what I was talking about. I think that around 2018, 2019, you started getting these movies, like there was The Hunt. There
Yeah.
was this movie. They came out really close together.
Yeah.
And then even I think The Menu
Yeah.
where you're having this kind of like class conscious horror.
Yeah. I find it really interesting that I feel like this movie was kind of panned critically and then wasn't looked at in the same way because Trump got elected. Like, it was like during his first term and everything, and there was still like a, well, it's not as bad as it looks kind of vibe going on, you know? And then when this movie came out, people were like, oh, this is Hollywood making more Hollywood slop, you know? I feel like that was kind of the vibe that I was getting. I think the second movie is actually going to perform a lot better.
Well, and again, I mean, I think our like Jeffrey Epstein at this point had been arrested, right? And wasn't he like dying? He died right around 2019.
No, he died in like 21, I thought.
Did he make it through COVID? I didn't think he made it through COVID.
I thought he did.
Look it up.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
I just think that like we
he did die. Yeah, he died in 2019. Oh, you're right.
we did know a little bit,
Yeah.
but
Nothing.
not at all to the extent of like it had not made waves yet. And so
No.
now I look at the character of Grace, and she feels very evocative of like a Virginia Giuffre
Yeah.
sort of situation. And obviously this movie isn't tackling like the sex trade or anything like that or trafficking, but just the overall theme of a single woman having to like fight tooth and nail against a very established family where everyone's in on it. It just has so much more cultural meaning now.
Yeah. And like,
In a way that feels ahead of its time.
I know. Well, and
Also,
Mhm.
I think that this was the beginning of the Adam Brody Renaissance. Because Adam Brody did this movie. He hadn't really done much in a while, and he did this movie. And oh my God, was he amazing in this movie. And I remembered thinking that before, and then watching it again, I was just blown away. Yes.
Who's Adam Brody?
Adam Brody is Daniel, the brother.
Gotcha.
So he is a heartthrob from back in the day. He was Dave Rogowski on Gilmore Girls, and then he was Seth on, was it the OC?
Oh, okay.
He left Gilmore Girls to do another show where he was like one of the main characters.
Oh. Okay.
And so heartthrob back in the early aughts, mid aughts, and then kind of laid low, right? Like I hadn't seen him in much, and then he did this movie. And it felt like, oh, he's back. And then he did Promising Young Woman, where he did a cameo among other, you know, kind of heartthrobby guys from back in the day. And now he's doing the Nobody Wants This, where he plays hot rabbi with Kristen Bell. And I just feel like this was the start of an Adam Brody renaissance.
Yeah. Interesting.
Can't be upset about that.
No. I find, how do you feel about this movie's take on like with greed and stuff like that? I mean, it seems kind of obvious a little bit, but I am interested with it in the sense of people who are close to wealth but are not nearly as wealthy playing a role into it, like the butler and stuff like that, where I am like, this butler can't be making nearly as much money, but he is like, yeah, this is great, you know? Or do you think he's like, what's the motivation for the butler? I don't understand that.
I think that the butler, you know, unfortunately, in a lot of ways, like with Prince Andrew, right? Like he had staff who was organizing his meetings with Epstein and whoever, on like girls that he was meeting.
Yeah.
And yeah, whether it's a slice of the pie or this like the concept of institution is very good at making people feel like be complicit, you know?
Yeah.
And this idea that this you are helping something bigger than yourself. And that you know, again, like proximity being the name of the game here. Whether it is wealth, whether it is access to the illicit thing, they provide that. So I don't know that it matters that the butler maybe makes a lot of money because he's living this lifestyle. He's probably living at that house. He has probably been with the family for forever. Maybe his parents were with the family. You know, like it's this old kind of aristocracy thing.
Yeah.
That they kind of addressed on this latest season of Bridgerton too, with Varley, and how she like left the house, and that was a big deal for the Featheringtons, the housekeeper.
Oh, yeah.
She left, and like they were like, I can't believe she would leave. Like they think of them as almost indentured servants. You know?
Yeah. It's true. Yeah.
But the other thing too is that I think that, and this is true of like life, like calls to like. So if you are a bad person and you have a lot of power, you are going to attract bad people who don't have power because you can be bad together and they get, you know, like they have more freedom being with you.
Do you think, this is going to sound weird, but I hope you understand my question. Do you think there's, quote, any saving these people? You know what I mean? Like, is there any redemption to be had in this? I mean, like, Daniel does,
I think that this is a question then of, do you think that Daniel is redeemed?
I would say that Daniel is sort of redeemed, but what was the point of him being redeemed in some ways? And I think that's where maybe this is where the complicity comes in, because it's like he dies and then he tries to save her, dies, and nothing comes from it, really. You know, like besides giving her more time, you know?
I think though you could say that if you're thinking about like Grace was going to win. And like, you know, Grace is going to win just because we're watching the movie.
Sure.
Like that's a given.
Yeah.
So he's fated to die anyway. But by doing anything to make him not die with the rest of them, do we think that that's redeeming? Helping her in any way and then not dying with the rest of them, is that a redemption? But then it's complicated because the mother, Becky, she dies beforehand. Now, Grace has an active hand in that.
Yeah.
So that's really the only murder to Grace's name. I think Daniel is redeemed. I think that Daniel is more conflicted than anyone that we've seen, and he throughout the night gives her help. More help in a lot of ways than what I think Alex gives.
Yeah.
And I think having not seen it in a long time, I was kind of shocked at how truthfully little help Alex gives.
He just like, dude, that one scene where he's just watching the cameras and he's like, yeah, let's go. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what do you, like, you know what I mean?
Because if he really wanted to help, he, you know, they shouldn't have split up.
Yeah.
Classic horror thing. But like, he doesn't do anything that really makes a lot of sense if you are thinking he's not conflicted in helping her. Daniel, I don't know if that makes sense to you, but like,
no, I get what you're saying.
Daniel gives her extra time before yelling she's in here, which actually like lets her get away, but also then draws everyone away from wherever she's going. It clears the path for her to have a wide span of that house to hide in. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of helping in twofold. And then there's that whole thing where he drugs her in the car, but his dad was listening. And so you kind of see that I interpreted that as him putting on an act so that his dad didn't like kill both of them.
I think the thing that's interesting to me is Daniel might, this is where I'm like, I don't know if he's redeemed necessarily, is he's fine with his lifestyle. Like, he doesn't try and run away from it at all in a lot of ways.
Do you think that, or do you feel like he's trapped?
I mean, if he feels trapped, then, I mean, like, the thing that's weird is Alex runs away from it. Like,
Alex runs away, but then comes back. Daniel feels and this is the difference, right? Alex did not firsthand experience the last wedding,
Right.
where they played hide and seek.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel, at a young age, participates and is the reason that guy dies, and clearly that has stuck with him, and I think has like changed his heart, and made him struggle with what they do, and that I think is why he's an alcoholic, which they reference several times.
Yeah.
But so I just think like, okay, yeah, Alex left, but he has no problem coming back, and he, they say a couple times, like, if you really loved her, you wouldn't have brought her here.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's I think a really fun thing to dissect. It's also far campier than I remembered. Like, I knew it had some elements of camp, but like watching it, I was like, oh my God, this is so campy and fun. No wonder I loved it.
Yeah. It's a great time. And, well, so we're recording this before we've seen the second one. So FYI for anyone listening. But it is interesting to talk a little bit where you're like, she says that she has no family, and then in the second one she has a sister.
Yes.
It's
what
like,
we have seen in the trailer
okay,
is that there's a second, like, it's going to pick off immediately where it left off. And it's going to be Grace and her sister, and they have to do it all over again with a whole new set, like the cadre of people,
like wealthy
of Mr.
families.
LeBeau's network is expanded, which I forgot that they kind of referenced that in the first movie, where they talk about other families that something happened and they all died.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And I had kind of forgotten that there was like a bigger network.
Yeah. How do you feel, what's your confidence level in the second movie, having seen the first one now? Because it's different writers, it's a different director.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure it's different writers. I mean, let me double check.
Okay, because I was feeling pretty confident, because you've got some big names like Elijah Wood, Sarah Michelle
Gellar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think some other people too, but like those are two actors that I feel like they don't have to take any project, and they are kind of choosy. So I'm hoping it's here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping it's a Wake Up Dead Man and not a Glass Onion.
I guess it is. Maybe it is the same writers. I thought it was different writers. Because I'm looking it up right now, and I think it's... Okay, it's the same writers.
Okay, I was going to say, I'd be surprised if it was different writers.
Yeah, same writers, different, like, director and stuff like that. I mean, I guess that makes me feel a little better then.
Yeah, I don't think that these writers do everything right. But I do think that they have touched on something that is very compelling.
Yeah, and I think that this is an interesting movie where it's like, this movie is fun as a movie, and you can watch it and not think critically about it, but if you do think critically about it, it's really interesting.
It's a good example of horror, which this is like light horror. Very campy.
Yeah,
horror.
I was going to say, I barely would describe this movie as horror.
But like, what else would you describe it as? Like, it's not an action movie. It's not...
This is the problem with genres.
Yeah, it's like suspenseful horror light with a lot of camp.
I would say suspense is a good term for it.
Sure, but wouldn't that also be like a subgenre of horror?
Girl, this is stupid.
Exactly. So anyway,
yeah.
but when you think about horror and like the ability to grapple with real world things and societal ills, much in the way of Sinners, this I think is a good example of that.
Yeah.
Where it works on like a very basic surface level, and then also if you dig into it, there's a lot to process.
Yeah, you know what? If you want your horror movie race commentary, watch Sinners. Like, that's my answer. If you're well, this didn't talk about race enough, watch Sinners. There you go. Like, problem solved.
I actually think both of these movies together are very fun.
Yeah, I agree.
That'd be a fun double feature.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah. Yeah. What would you rank this movie?
Oh, man. I think for me it's an 8.
Same actually.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to be higher. So,
well, I think it's a real good time.
Mhm.
And no, it just feels like an 8. It feels like a true 8, like a great time and fun production.
Yeah, because
The performances are good, but there's nothing that's like overly stand out about anything. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's just overall solid.
I think that's the interest so sidetrack on the themes, talking about the filmmaking aspect of it. I am like, this film is made well, but there's nothing where I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. I've never seen anything like this before.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the problem that this movie has.
I agree. I agree. It's just like overall everything is just solid.
Yeah, it's like a solid movie, and like you're gonna have a good time, and you can rewatch it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I very much agree with you. Yeah. Do you have any other thoughts at all? There's things that you wanted to touch on?
I don't know. I mean, do you?
I don't think I do. I think that this movie, you'll sit there, you'll watch it, you'll reflect on it. You know what I mean? And I think I feel the same way. You know, when I said what I said about Pillion, where I was like, finally a movie that's making me think, I kind of feel the same way about this movie. Is it making...
It's more fun than Pillion. Let me just say that.
Well, it depends on your audience, isn't it?
Well, fair enough. We've established I'm not the audience for Pillion.
But like I feel like this movie makes you think. It doesn't give you answers, and that's good. Is it the most stunning movie I've ever seen in my life? No, but I am like, you know what? Thank God I can look at this movie and get something out of it.
One thing I want to shout out is like being original.
Yeah.
It's not a remake of something. It's not,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just appreciate that. And then I also want to shout out the fact that I really like how it's a board game empire. They don't use any board games we would know, but that house feels like you've walked into the mansion in Clue.
Yeah.
And that's just a fun time. Like immersing yourself in that kind of thing. It's just fun. And it is funny. There's a lot of funny moments in this movie.
There are. Yeah, this movie, you know what? Let me put it this way. It's not like, this is kind of the way, like, people will look at, like, philosophical works, like, and be like, oh, this is, like, the pinnacle one. You know what I mean? Like, thus spoke Zarathustra from, like, Nietzsche or something like that. And they'll be like, this is it. But, like, some of the earlier works are also good. I feel like this is one of those things where I'm like, this is an earlier work. It's not the work, but it's good. And it's still saying something. Yeah. That's kind of how I feel about it.
Watching it this time through, because I wasn't looking at, like, I was not looking so deep. I've already done that exploration. Yeah. I was paying attention more to the surface level stuff. I felt like there were moments where specifically Grace's dialogue felt very weird. Just like a little try hard almost.
Well, and I mean? There's that exposition dump at the beginning where she's like, I'm marrying into the Dubert or whatever it is.
Ladomus
family.
Yeah.
And they make a ton of money. And blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, who talks to themselves like that?
What else gets me is that, so Andy McDonald is the mom, and she calls the devil Mr. LaBelle.
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone else calls him Mr. LaBelle. And they can't agree on the pronunciation, which I just find interesting. Like, it's not even like, oh, she's just saying it with an accent. She's saying a fully different word.
Yeah.
Also, I had forgotten that they, like, did rituals beyond the hide and seek thing, and it's in the pit where you see all the goats, and it was like, oh, why do they keep goats in the stables? And then Alex is like, I left because one day I looked around and I was like, oh, maybe sacrificing goats isn't something all families do together. And I was like, yeah, it is so interesting that there's this whole other part of the lore of like, what is a day in the life of the Ladomus family? You know what I mean? What are they doing?
Yeah.
What else has to be done to keep Mr. LaBelle happy?
I am like, does Mr. LaBelle like cover up these murders for them or something? Because I'm like,
he must. Well, I think they're just sacrificing goats, and then it's just like the the
no,
marriage.
but yeah, the marriage, like they die.
Yeah,
Oh, like,
that's true.
like
Or maybe they're like, oh, he ran off, and it's a wealthy family, so they just.
maybe. I don't know. It's still weird. Still strange.
There's a lot that the movie doesn't really concern itself with.
Yeah.
And truthfully, I find that is often the best campy movies
Yeah.
are just like, this is what it is, and we didn't think too hard about the parts we're not showing.
Yeah.
Kind of like Mamma Mia.
Yeah.
You don't try and figure out that timeline, especially with the sequel. The timeline of when Donna's with who, all over the place. No point in trying to figure it out.
Yeah. It's just you're here for the songs.
Yeah, you roll with it.
Yeah. That's how I felt watching the play too.
Yeah, the play is definitely a you roll with it kind of experience.
Oh yeah, you roll with that play. That was interesting. Watching that one.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed everyone but Donna, so
well,
that's my take.
Different.
So there we go. That's Ready or Not. Let us know what you think of Ready or Not and the sequel. Go ahead and spoil it. And this is coming out after we see it.
To go back to an old Dear Maddie.
Yeah.
Where I believe it was Ryan asked what we're most excited for this year. This is one of those for me.
Also, you know what I'm excited for this year?
Oh my god.
Because the trailer.
Oh my god, stop.
The trailer just dropped, guys. Dune Part 3 is coming out this year.
He's watched it on his own. He's made me watch it with him. He's watched people reacting to it.
Guys, I am so
How many times
pumped.
do you think you've seen that trailer now?
Probably 15. Like approximately about 15.
So, okay, if it's how long is that trailer? 3 minutes?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, like 3 minutes. Yeah.
Wow.
Right around there.
That's half the movie.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's great. Great time. And then you hear the crazy Haka chant that Paul Atreides is doing. Love it. Love it.
And that'll be...
Demote.
And none for Marty Supreme.
Okay. Guys.
And I guess, yeah, this is our first episode
so,
post-Oscars.
I feel so justified looking back at Marty Supreme and be saying that no one will remember this movie in 5 years. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so right.
And
like,
we're thrilled about Best Actor, Best Actress.
Yeah.
Because this is our first episode since the Oscars. We haven't really talked about it.
Yeah, Jesse Buckley totally deserved that.
So did Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan totally deserved that.
And we're so happy for Ryan, what's his name?
Coogler?
Yeah.
Is he the director?
Yeah, and then also the score, the composer.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever his name is.
The
Don't
Swedish
ask me.
boy.
Yeah. And
Mandalorian.
They were roommates in college.
What?
Yeah, that's how they met. They were roommates in college. And they were roommates.
Huh?
Yes.
No.
Apparently.
That's crazy. I had no idea.
I'm like thinking imagine if Lissa and Nicole and I won an Oscar.
Could happen.
It could.
They could have a podcast category or something.
Gals, let's get it going.
Yeah. You never know. It's totally possible.
Well, I mean, yeah, and then there were a couple others that we were really pleased
I'm happy that
with.
F1 didn't win shit. The fact that movie was in there at all, astonishing, honestly.
Oh, I was really happy that the Frankenstein costume director won.
Yeah.
That was an incredible...
Totally worth it.
Incredible costume.
Yeah, really good there. Yeah. There was a...
It was a bummer that Sorry Baby didn't get any nods, and I actually thought that Sorry Baby came out in 2024, but it was 2025, as James proved to me at work.
What's Sorry Baby? Haven't heard of it?
It's it's the one about the two friends in grad school, and it kind of follows them, and one's assaulted. You didn't watch it with me. I watched it on a plane.
I was like, I don't think I watched this.
I watched it on a plane. Not a great plane movie, but not the worst. Oh,
speaking of bad plane movies.
Speaking of plane movies.
Yeah.
Take it away.
I was recently on a plane and I watched oh my God. I watched both The Running Mans, actually. So I watched the new one and the old one. The old one is apparently not. So I looked up the summary of the book. The new one is almost exactly like the book, which is crazy. And the new one is actually way better than the old one. The old one, I'm like, this is a joke. This can't be real. It's atrocious. And then I watched Past Lives, and I also watched Urchin as well, which Urchin is not a plain movie. The guy hangs full on coconuts.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I was in the middle seat. So
and that's how it was for me with Sorry Baby.
really,
Yeah. I was also on a plane, different planes, but also on a plane.
Mm-hmm.
And on my way where I was going, I watched Begonia because I saw
Oh yeah, what'd you think?
the woman in front of me watching Begonia, and I saw them reference something culty that we have some firsthand experience in.
What?
The Andromeda Galaxy.
Really?
Yes, that's why I watched it.
I had no idea.
That's why I watched it, because someone that we know has kind of fallen down that pipeline.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so the premise of Begonia, I guess you're getting a 2-for-1 here, guys. The premise of Begonia is that Jesse Plemons believes that Emma Stone is an Andromedan alien.
What the hell?
And so he kidnaps her with the help of his cousin, who's like developmentally delayed. And they shave her head because her hair transmits to the mothership, and they cover her in
Hydrochloric acid.
No, in antihistamine or histamine cream, whatever it is.
Okay.
Whatever. And they hold her captive, and they're like, you have to tell the mothership to come to talk to us in 3 days at the lunar eclipse, and we want you to pull out of Earth. And she's
Cool.
like, I'm not an alien. And it goes back and forth, and it's this big drama, and like the cousin kills himself. The Jesse Plemons' character kills a sheriff. They both are injured. She takes him to her company. She's like a big chemist, like LabCorp kind of person. She takes him to her company and is like, hey, you're going to go in the closet and I'll beam you up. And he goes in the closet and he has a homemade bomb, and it goes off, so he dies. And then she like goes to the hospital and leaves before they can check her out, and she limps back to her office. And this is at the very end of the movie, after this whole drawn out thing where she goes back and then goes into the closet and does beam up, and she is an Andromedon. And I was so angry. I was so mad that
That's stupid.
It made me so irritated, because I was like, no, because if you have someone in your life who believes that,
dude,
it is so debilitating.
That's why
and
I just hate this guy, like the Lars dude, whatever his name is.
Yorgos.
Yeah, like he's just I don't trust his like narrative storytelling, because he's like, well, I'm saying this, and I'm like, you're actually saying the exact opposite, you idiot. Like, if you look at it, you can't tell me that you're not saying the opposite of what you intend to be saying.
It was just so irritating, and the payoff was so frustrating.
I really don't trust him after Poor Things. It wouldn't shock me if he's on the Epstein list. Just saying.
So again, like, I didn't like Poor Things at all, but because I saw this and I was like, oh my God, it's dealing with this topic, I was like, okay, I'll watch it.
Mm-mm.
And I just can't believe that they made the Jesse Plemons' character right in like everything. All of his kooky, coked up ideas, because she finds out that he's been butchering people thinking that they're Andromedans, and has like this whole like freezer full of body parts because he's been killing people. And so at one point she asks him, like in their big confrontation, like how many were Andromedans, and he goes 2, but he's killed like a ton of people. And just what was this great commentary, in my opinion, on like how sick those people are. And a little like
it validates them.
Yes, I'm like, God damn it, because yeah. Anyway, so I watched that, And then on the way back, I was like, I'm not taking any chances. And I watched the ultimate plane movie, Crazy Rich Asians.
Oh.
Had a delightful time. That movie never does me wrong.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. Yeah, I watched Urchin. Urchin's about a homeless man in Britain, and how he falls back into it. Really depressing. Also a BBC film, which is the same as Pillion. I tell you what, BBC. I didn't think that BBC made movies, but every BBC film that I've seen so far, batshit crazy.
They have a checklist.
They definitely do. And then, I watched Past Lives.
I liked Past Lives.
I know, and you've mentioned it in the podcast. So
yeah.
I really enjoyed Past Lives, and I thought it was really, really good. And then I can't believe she wrote Materialists.
That was also like a crazy switch
Talk
up.
about tone deaf. Like,
yes.
Holy crap.
No, fully. Like, Past Lives was so thoughtful, and then the Materialists felt the absolute opposite of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Materialist felt like it was written like as a magazine blurb.
Yes.
You know?
I think that Ready or Not, if you like, depending on the flight that you're on, could also be a good plane movie.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't know anymore because I feel really bad about what I had those people go through that were sitting next to me. So, I'm going for it now at this point. You know.
Nothing can be as bad as me being middle seat, putting on The Favorite with subtitles, so everyone's seeing Olivia Colman say, like, I like it when she puts her tongue in me.
Yeah, why'd you put subtitles on? That's stupid.
I don't think I had my headphones or something. Like, I needed it to hear or, like, to see what was going on.
Yeah, bad choice, babe.
I mean, you know me. I wouldn't have put subtitles on if I didn't need them.
I know. That's why I'm shocked.
It was just, it was uncomfortable for me. It was uncomfortable for the dude next to me. I could tell. I could tell. But at that point, you're playing chicken and, like,
yeah, I'm not a bitch.
Turn it off. Exactly.
Yeah,
like we're gonna sit here and watch this movie now. The guy next to me, we're watching it together at this point.
Yeah,
like, you're welcome.
Yeah, exactly. Well, anyways, that's Ready or Not, everyone.
And we'll be back.
Yeah, can't wait to see you on Sunday for Ready or Not 2. It's gonna be a good one.
Ready or Not. Here I come.
And follow us on TikTok. Follow us on Instagram.
I've not been very active on the Instagram, guys. You have to cut me some slack.
Guys, maybe if you would actually comment on Maddie's post, she would be more active on Instagram.
Whoa, maybe not. I just have a lot with, like, the nonprofit that I work with right now. I don't have the time.
Maybe if you commented on TikTok, I would engage with you and we could build a little community there. We have one person who followed us.
New faces.
New faces. It's so exciting.
All right, person who followed us, we'd like to answer any thoughts you have or questions.
Please.
Give us a Dear Maddie.
Guys, Dear Maddie, we don't have any right now, and I'm bummed. You know, I want a nice goodie bag of Dear Maddies where I can
Maddie lists.
Pull it out from a hat, my little rabbit from a hat, and I can be like, Dear Maddie, what do you think about otters, you know? And I'll be like, wow, that's a great question.
I think they're cute.
Yeah. So that's it. Let us know. We'll see you later. Bye.